Then the regulation of the stomatal opening, its mechanism also we have to learn. The structure of the stomata may be asked to draw like the chloroplast. It is also one of the diagram you have to draw. Then here let us see the structure of the stomata. Here two guard cells are there, kidney shaped or bean shaped two guard cells are there. You know that the guard cell, that kidney shaped cells have chloroplast inside it. You can see the chloroplast inside it, and it has a nucleus. Then that opening is known as stomatal pore or stoma. Stomatal pore or stoma is the opening. Then you can again in the surrounding area around that structure, epidermal cells are there. Stoma, guard cell, and epidermal cells are the three labeling that can be given to this diagram. Three labeling, it is very important. Then again you can see the stomatal structure, an open structure and a closed structure of the stomata is given here. Then again it has an outer wall. Its outer wall is in this kidney shaped cell or bean shaped cell, that guard cell. Its inner wall is thicker than the outer wall. Outer wall is thin and inner wall is thick. So that when that cell become turgid, you know what is turgidity? When it absorbed or filled with water, then that cell become turgid, and when in the turgid condition only the outer wall will get extended, that will cause the opening of the stomata. Then the main function of the stomata is to let in carbon dioxide. Stomata is to let in carbon dioxide. That is the function of the stomata. Main function of the stomata is to allow carbon dioxide. That is mainly during the daytime when the stomata is not in use for photosynthesis. That is, when it is dark, they tend to close their opening so that water loss is minimized from the leaves through the transpiration. One important thing you have to notice, at the daytime the stomata will open. It is stimulated by the sunlight so that it open, and at the night the stomata tend to close. Here then in the another page here, one point here is transpiration is the price which the plant pays for photosynthesis. At the daytime, to absorb carbon dioxide, the stomatal opening will become wide. At that time, transpiration also will occur because of the diffusion of water. So at the time of photosynthesis, transpiration is the price. Transpiration ആണ് plants that pay for photosynthesis to do. When at the time of photosynthesis lose a lot of water by transpiration. Why it is said so? Such a question may be. At the time when photosynthesis occur, stomatal opening will become wider so that loss of water will occur by transpiration. That is why it is said like that. Transpiration is the price which the plant pays for photosynthesis. Then another, they have thick inner wall and thin outer wall. That is the structure of the guard cell. Then opening and closing of the stomata, two theories are there. One is the recent theory and the other is old theory. Potassium ion concentration theory is the recent theory and sugar concentration theory is the old theory in it. What the potassium ion concentration theory? During the daytime, the chloroplast in the guard cell photosynthesis, which lead to the production of ATP. You know that when the guard cell, they containing the chlorophyll, so that when sunlight fall on it, it can produce glucose. So from the glucose it can produce, that is energy rich substance. At the oxidation of glucose, you know that ATP will be produced. This ATP is used to pump potassium ions from the adjacent cell to the guard cell. From the surrounding cell, potassium will be absorbed using energy. Energy is produced. How it is produced? When sunlight fall on the guard cell, it can make glucose, and this glucose can give energy rich ATP on respiration. Using that energy, it pump potassium ion from the adjacent cell, so that here increased potassium ion concentration, that will make the cell hypertonic. You know what is hypertonic? More concentration of ion or salt inside it, that solution, hypertonic. So hypertonic, that type of solution can absorb more water from the surrounding, so that the cell become turgid. So that the turgidity causes that kidney shaped cell to move outward, and so that its stomatal pore will become wider, so that more carbon dioxide may enter into the stomata. How the stomata open, that is the one theory. This is the recent theory. Sugar concentration theory, the same thing. Here the glucose is produced. The same thing happen, because the guard cell containing a lot of chloroplast inside it, it can make glucose. When sunlight fall on it at the time of sunrise, it can make more glucose. Glucose is a soluble substance. It can glucose, sugar or glucose, it is a soluble, so it can make a hypertonic solution in the same way like the potassium ions. We saw it previously, like that sugar solution can make the solution inside the cell hypertonic, so that in the same way like the potassium ion glucose contain glucose solution inside the cell can draw water from the adjoining or the surrounding cell. So endosmosis takes place, so the cell become turgid, and the opening will become wider, so that more gases from outside may diffuse into the leaf. That is the sugar concentration theory. Both are by the sunlight, all the things are happening. First, glucose is synthesized, so that ATP is produced. Using ATP, it is pumping the potassium ion. Same way, the glucose or sugar itself make the solution inside the cell hypertonic, so that it can absorb more water from the surrounding. Then the closing of the stomata, how it occur here? Because of the water content become less in the stomata, that will cause the closing of the stomata. Usually during the daytime, more stomata opening will become wider because of the production of sugar or production of glucose inside the cell. Here again, mesophyll cell, the section of the leaf is given here. Here the palisade mesophyll cells is shown here, sunlight falling on it, then the cells inside the leaf that can produce more that can trap the sunlight, and it then stomatal opening will become wider, and the production of glucose occur inside the leaf cell. That is the section of the leaf. Sunlight, you can see the palisade cell, spongy cell, then water vapor, transpiration also occur at the time of photosynthesis because the stomata will become wider. Then carbon dioxide also necessary for the production of glucose may diffused into the leafy inside the leaf substomatal space. Into that carbon dioxide may diffused into it. Oxygen produced during the photosynthesis may diffuse out from the leaves. Then again here the chemical equation to represent the photosynthesis is given here. That is 6 carbon dioxide, then 12 plus 12 water molecule in the presence of light energy and chlorophyll. Then the production of glucose C6H12O6 is the glucose molecule. Then as the byproduct 6 water and 6 oxygen. Oxygen is the gas, so the arrow is given upward, in the direction upward. That this is one of the important equation. Only a few equations are present in the biology text. This is only one important equation we have to learn is the chemical equation of photosynthesis. Then again another thing you have to notice is 6 molecule of water that is produced by the photosynthesis is reformed, not formed from the water molecule that participated in the chemical reaction. You can see 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O. You can see the water participated in the chemical reaction, but this 6 molecule as the product, this is the reformed during the chain reactions in the photosynthesis.